The reason deals don't happen is because desire hasn't been built. And so what happens is
we have the king of persuasion.
We have to decide in this meeting, we have 30 minutes to figure out, are you Home Depot or are we in a relationship? You have to give people, as we were saying earlier, a real choice. I'm not going there to beg.
But how do you do it when someone shifts their position of power? So you're already in a relationship with them.
The key there is framing it in.
Hello and welcome to the Perpetual Traffic Podcast. This is your host, Ralph Burns, founder and CEO of Tier 11, alongside my amazing co-host,
Lauren E. Petrillo, the founder of Mongoose Media.
So glad you joined us here today. If you're a VP of Marketing, Director of Marketing, and or a persuasion person, somebody who's persuading, whether you're sales, whether you're marketing, yes, we have the king of persuasion. I'm just anointing him this because we've had a lot of persuasion people on this show, but this guy is on for the second time within a month. Really, he actually asked to come back on, which we're still kind of flabbergasted. Why come on our little show? Although we are kind of a big marketing podcast, we have got Oren Klaff back on Perpetual Traffic for show number 2. Welcome back to PT, Oren.
So thank you. Yeah, and the reason I like coming on the show and wanted to come a second time is I get on shows and they go, and I have Oren Klaff here. I'm very excited to introduce him. I sold 1 million copies of Pitch Anything. So Oren, why did you write the book? Like, hey, are we gonna have a podcast? You want? Okay, all right. Hey guys, I'll just go ahead and take this over since you don't have any questions. Once you run through another 1 or 2 questions, right? Let's just see if that was just your like tripping over yourself. What are your other questions, right? What do you think has changed today since when you wrote the book? Okay, that's 2. Right? Yeah, you've seen American Idol. They're like, strike. Like, let's see what Simon Cowell says. What's your third question? What advice would you give a young person starting out today? I'm like, all right, I'm taking over this show. All right, guys, let's get started.
Clear you haven't read my damn books.
Yeah, clear the deck. So, right. You can't know the truth.
That is not this show. Well, I guess that's cool because we kind of break the mold. We actually do research and we actually like our guests. So we want our guests to be fun. Not
you're the only
mailing it in.
6-star review I've given on Goodreads this entire year for any business book. I was like, Pitch Anything, 5-star review. Flip the script, solid 6-star review. And you even had a hidden chapter.
Wow. Yeah. It's funny, Lauren's introduction, I was speaking at a conference. I was sitting in the back and the guy I know very well, let's just call him Sam, it's his name. And he's doing an introduction. I hadn't spoken yet. Big conference. He goes, hey, I would like to bring up here quickly, introduce a very, very good friend of mine. We've known each other for many years. He's helped me out in so many situations. This is somebody you can rely on in every, like if you called him in the middle of the night, he would answer the phone and come do anything you needed. This is one of my, and I'm standing up. I'm walking halfway down the aisle. Jim Rose, everybody, and I'm diving in for a seat. Are you sitting?
Just stretching my legs.
Oh my god!
Yep.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh my god, that's so bad.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, with that said, Lauren, you're leading this podcast here today.
We'll see how long that's going to last.
Lauren and Oren. Well, Oren's really leading the podcast. Let's not kid ourselves. He's got the frame here. But anyway, so you can lob the first question here because there's so many different things.
Question?
Lob the first question.
I like that.
Yeah. Why did you write?
Just
Pitch Anything. Not that question. Yeah. Don't ask that one.
Yeah. Just when you think you know the answer.
No pressure.
Just when you think you know the answer, I changed the question. So, look, I flew to Italy since I saw you guys last. And we work with a very large company there. They have a new CEO from private equity. And all the humming and hawing is that, he's just making it just about money. Relationships are out the door. You get what you pay for. All your bills are due immediately. And
that's not very Italian.
No discounts, no relationship, no dinners. It's just about the money because of the tariffs and everything in the U.S. There's pressure everywhere. So I go into that meeting literally with shotguns on both hips. Those like short ones. When I say literally, it means like, figuratively. Ready to.
I was hoping you showed up cowboy style.
Loaded to bear. So we get in the conference room and my team is there. And his team is there. He's got 3 people there. His CFO, head of accounting. My team is there. So this is like hostage negotiation 101. Everybody's there. And I go, guys, I need you all to clean the room. It's just me, and his name is, so just call him Ferrari. Ferrari's in his name, and Ferrari here. Okay. So everybody clears the room. That like really heightens the tension. And what we need from them is unique technologies, right? We need you because, but they come up with the technology and they want to sell it to all of their clients, right? But we want the unique technology. So we're special. So they come with these technologies and I go, Ferrari, listen, if you are just Home Depot to me and I just walk in, right, and I can just buy drills and I can just buy saws and I can just buy the stuff, and then I got to go back to the market and compete with every other contractor out there, and that is all it is you're just a big Home Depot to me, that is a very different situation than what I need. Oren, why you say this? Why you talk like this? You go, we got to decide. We have to decide in this meeting. We have 30 minutes to figure out, are you Home Depot or are we in a relationship? And he goes, Oren, why you talk like this? But the point is, right, you have to give people, as we were saying earlier, a real choice. I'm not going there to beg, right? And so when you think about status, you cannot fly 7,000 miles across the world, go to a meeting in somebody else's, in a different country, in somebody else's building, and then get in there to do the things that you could do on a Zoom call, which is negotiate a contract. If you go to that meeting, the only play you have is you're either going to, as I said last time, you're either drinking, this is the best way to remember it, you're either drinking 13 beers with us or you're drinking 13 beers against us.
I wish you would have said limoncellos for them specifically, like the fruto di succo.
Already.
He was.
So you knew this. You had done you had conversations with them, and they were all about the money. And you're like, wait a second, I've got to reframe this whole thing, and that's how you went into it.
So this is you have to think about the layers of status going into conversations, right? If you have flown to meet them, it's 18 hours, it's $7,000, you're staying in a hotel, like you have exerted, they know you've exerted a ton of energy to come there, right? And then you go to the meeting and you're meeting at a senior level. You cannot do the things in that meeting that you could have done on a Zoom call. That is low status. What you discuss at a meeting is relative to how much effort the parties have put to go to that meeting. I'm going to give you another way to look at this, but this you have to understand status. If you flew to San Francisco from New York, right, and then you go to Embarcadero and you waited in the lobby and you read a 4-year-old Sports Illustrated, you finally go to the meeting started 15 minutes late, you have exerted an enormous amount of energy to come to that meeting, and they know that. They have walked 11 feet from their office, so they have nothing to lose. And you have, if that meeting goes 5 minutes, hey, look, I don't know why you came, it's an impasse, but right where we started, everybody go home. You've expended 2 days and $10,000, an enormous amount of effort. They've expended 11 minutes walking from their office, right? So there is these status imbalances exist at every level. And I think you have to recognize it. And the conversation has to be at the level of resetting the status imbalance. So the lower you are in status coming in because of the circumstance, the higher the stakes have to be at the meeting.
Got it. Makes sense. So simultaneously, I'm interjecting here because this is Lauren's interview, but I guess it isn't. You're exerting status, you're eradicating neediness, you're establishing frame control, sort of all at the same time.
I think what I'm introducing here is physical, which we haven't talked about before, is physical status.
Yeah.
As opposed to just cognitive, right? Who you are, what you offer, what you're capable of. I'll give you another example. I get on a call with a New York bank on a $30 million financing, right? So I get on the call. I'm the private equity firm that invested in our portfolio company. We have a CEO of that firm, but he's new. So I'm functioning like the CEO. He's the CEO. The financier goes, I'm uncomfortable. Like, who's the CEO? I'm like, I'm CEO, but he's like, we're co-CEO. He's been here 3 days, right? He's been shadow working the company for a year. He's been on the job for 3 days. Like, I'm transitioning my title, but it's on all the bit. Like, he goes, I'm uncomfortable with this.
Okay.
Now we have a problem, right? Because I either have to allow him to be uncomfortable with something that is perfectly normal, or I have to explain it to him, mansplain to him how you have a co-CEO and continue to have him like this is, and frame me as not normal, or the road that I took, right? And Yogi Berra said, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. And I said, thank you. He said, what do you mean? I go, well, thanks. It was nice talking to you. He goes, what do you mean? It was nice talking to you. I'm like, what? Hey, man, we want to work with customers, investors, relationships, people who are comfortable with us, like what we're doing. And you're saying you're uncomfortable, so we don't want to work with you because you're uncomfortable.
Oh my God, I love it.
So if you're
that's ballsy.
My job, is to give you the exciting things we're doing, introduce you to the people, tell you how our plan is working, what value we deliver, what you would, if you invested, what security you would get, right? We want you to be happy. What good is it if I use all my superpowers to convince you to invest in this company and you remain uncomfortable? It's going to be such a high. So if you're uncomfortable after I've known you for 11 minutes, then I am going to do everybody a favor and go away. Okay. I'm going to if this was a video game, I'm just going to step in front of the bullets, take the shot, and I'm just not going to respawn. So you guys can wait around, be like, what happened to Oren? I think he decided not to respawn. I'm not. He goes, no, you have to fight for your deal. I'm like, I am not fighting. I am loving. I want to be in a loving relationship with my customers, with my partners, my investors. And he goes, okay, let's forget it. Let's move on. That is, you have to. Yeah. Right. He goes, okay, I get it. There's two CEOs. Let's move on. This is, you can call it a takeaway, but there's no risk in offering people two choices in which the second choice, if they choose it, I think we talked about this last time, indicates that you were never going to get money out of them. Give them two choices to move forward at a high stakes level. It seems like you are giving autonomy. But if they choose the second choice, it just means they're never going to give you money.
Right.
So you just saved yourself countless trips. The idea of you going back, okay, fine. You lost the full travel day, San Francisco to New York. You lost all those pieces, but versus being 3 months later and 6 figures in to a relationship that was uncomfortable from the get-go. You're establishing that was the honest choice.
If you give people a choice and they take it to exit the deal, not do business with you, continue with their ridiculous, pricing demands and everything like that, then we talked a little bit about this before. If you're doing a deal with Microsoft and Microsoft goes, we need a discount, right? Why do you need a discount? Well, because we buy a lot of stuff and, we could be a $3 million account for you and we need a discount, right? And you go, listen, if I do business with you and you're constantly grinding on me because you have power as the more powerful partner, right? That just doesn't work. You will not be a profitable account. So if your position is we're Microsoft, we get discounts because we can buy, a lot and buy volume. And you say we are constantly going to be demanding a lot of service, a lot of volume, and force you into a low margin or low price position, then just tell me that so I can make a decision. If I'm in a vendor category where you have lots of choices, right, and you are constantly going to be repricing, grinding, and you view this as a commodity, say we view you as a commodity.
You know what I love about this approach is that you're saying the things that every salesperson thinks but never really says. They're thinking in the back of their mind, they're like, screw this guy. You know what I mean? Or screw Microsoft. I don't want to have to grovel, but my job is to grovel and to give them a discount because they're Microsoft. Or in the case of the Italian that you were dealing with, Mr. Ferrari, I assume it was a Mr., but you did the exact opposite of what the traditional salesperson would do. So look, before we actually hit record here, we talked about frame control is limiting choices to the buyer by being honest.
Yes. Say the quiet part out loud. That is the key for today. This is the one takeaway. Say the quiet part out loud. Nobody's going to taser you. Nobody's going to frag you. Nobody's going to start crying, right? Say what you're thinking, but leave the words that start with A, F, S the
Leave those out, right?
leave those out.
That's the takeaway. Holy crap. Like, that's it. Like, that's like you distilled both books down into like, because that's the essence of the whole idea here is
But
really is
on this whole,
being
you're saying,
honest, but cutting through the crap at the same time.
but how do you do it when someone shifts their position of power? So you're already in a relationship with them. And then whether there's a new CEO coming in, right? Say it was your co-CEO who's establishing a different change of narrative, or a son who's taking on as the new leadership and they're invoking a new change of environment.
It's reframing the new change as goofy. Hey guys, this is cool. Like, I get it. You're coming in. We did talk about this last time. So I'll be quick with this. You're coming in. You're the new guy. You got to establish authority. This is the quiet part that everybody knows. You're coming in, right? You're new to this position. You have to be taken seriously. You have to show that you're serious. You have to show your people like you rule. Heavy lies the crown. And I get it. And I will work with you. But I will help you look good to your team. I'll concede 5%. We'll roll over on for 90 days. You go, see, motherfuckers, this is how you own a customer coming in. The customer's been taking advantage of us. I will help you look good to your team. But you have to tell me, is this just the optics of you coming in and asserting control, or are you really trying to clip our account in perpetuity, right? If you need my help, I will help you get this done. But if you're actually just trying to reset our relationship, then we have to talk about going different ways. What is this? Is this theatrical and optics and I'm helping you? Or are you really trying to cause us frictional damage, on a relationship that I built with your family and your company for 5 years? Just tell me which one it is so I can understand what to do from my side. The key there is framing it in two different options, right? And you see what I did there, Lauren? I turned it around to, I will help you. And that's the, so you want to say the quiet part out loud, and you want to put yourself in a position of, I will bend and exert effort to help you, even though I need something from you.
I mean, I feel like, Ralph is saying that it's the salespeople, you're saying the things that aren't being told, but I actually think it's more of like your team. It's how often have you had, if you've got a team underneath you where you've taken on clients you shouldn't have, or you're working with projects that are way beyond the scope, and your team is the one saying, like, why don't you stand up for yourself? Or like, why don't you make it clear, like, stop bending over and showing your underside to them, because they're going to take it every single time. I know that the salespeople will always have that, but I feel more often than not, it's the team that has to feel the consequences of whatever you did when you let them down by changing your relationship of what you're going to do on their behalf.
Maybe this will help put in context for people. If you raise money, what you'll find is 60, 70% of the money will come in as you're closing the round, right? Because as people start to see, the scarcity, the deadline, it's no different than a May Day sale, right. Thanksgiving Day sale, right? But
May Day sale, that was an interesting one. I haven't seen the May Day sale come up in quite a while.
It's big in Russia.
Okay. I was like, you could get away with Singles Day, or, which is huge in Asia, Saldi, which is massive in Italy, but May Day? Okay. Let's go for it.
That's what they do it in the homeland. All right.
Yeah.
So when we raise capital, when you announce the round is closing and people actually see it going away, then they decide to invest. It's the same with the sale. So until somebody actually sees that you're serious about the fork in the road is approaching and you're going to take one of two choices. I think where salespeople mess this up is they go, there's 9 choices or 3 choices or 7 choices or 17 choices. And it's a complicated decision matrix nobody can figure out, right? It's ride or die. That's the left lane, right? Together forever. Or, all right, you may have to cut this part. I'm like, hey, this is great. Lauren, let's, this is great. Let's go different directions to cover more territory. Right? I'll break right. Okay. And then you go fuck yourself.
Yes, please. I mean, that's what you really want to tell someone. It's like, I can do this for you, or you can figure this all the fuck out on your own because I'm not going to help you if you're going to engage in this way moving forward. I mean, that's an aggressive one. And as you said, I'd leave out some of those other words, but that's what you're saying in a nutshell. But maybe the Canadian way of
the sale.
I invite you to look with another partner.
Here's what salespeople are doing, whether it's money or it's sales. They're saying there is more room, there's more optionality for you to negotiate, for you to wait. And what weak salespeople have taught your clients, what weak salespeople have taught your investors is that if they wait, you will negotiate against yourself. So here's a couple things. Say the quiet thing out loud and be one of the 100 people that will actually say what is going on in this situation. Number two is convincingly and be kind, be polite, be friendly, be there, but convincingly demonstrate that you are not going to negotiate against yourself. Because especially in enterprise sales, in B2B, the buyers have learned they don't need to upgrade their accounting software like today. They're looking at doing it, and then you're very excited about making the sale, right? And so they're going, hey, the longer I wait, the longer I look over stuff, the more sales will come up, the more the price will go down, the more this guy will negotiate against himself. So you would have got to firm up. This is what I will do. Listen, if you are saying that you are, we're talking about upgrading the accounting software, right? We're going back and forth, and we're at the point where I've got some time in this, you've got some time in this. Like, we got to decide, are we doing this? So if you're saying to me, hey, this is a 90 to 120 day decision, then you have to tell me, because I'm out. I don't know what our pricing is. I don't know what upgrades where I don't know how busy I am. I don't know my team. 120 days, 90 to 120 days is not a time frame I can function in. And I'm going to kick you over to Kirsten. She's going to work with you. She's my new intern. She's going to give you the updates, stay in touch with you, make sure you have everything you need. But if you're in a 120 day decision period, you don't have me. My decision period where I am most active, most relevant, give the most amount of value is a 30. So are you a 0 to 30 day? Are you a 30 to 90 day? Are you 90 to 120? Just tell me who you really are, and then we'll make sure you have the resources you need to support yourself. I'm here to help you, but you have to tell me who you really are.
Lauren, I thought you were going down the route of, because we're both in service-based businesses where we sell and then we have to fulfill, and we have constantly, like, we both have either account managers, client success managers who then manage the client. And it's constantly a lot of this going on. It's like, hey, they're like, oh, I want to go this way. Like, we fired a client because they say, we just want to do all Google from here on in. I'm like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I came on the call and I pulled an Oren Klaff. I said, you can't do that because you're going to bankrupt your business. I'm telling you right now, don't fucking do it. I actually used the F-bomb on the call. Similar, like maybe I said freaking. But anyway, the point is like, I was like, we know what's best. I know what's best. This team that's on this call knows what's best. And they ended up staying with us for another 3 to 4 months. The business model was kind of crappy. But anyway, the point is like, we exerted ourselves and said the thing that nobody wanted to say. So when I think of your strategy, I don't necessarily think about it as a front-end persuasion, sales, and or marketing strategy. I think of it as like a way of like to approach human behavior, especially if you're in the services-based industry like we are. Thoughts?
So comments? I think, and in that situation, I like that. I wonder if you come up against it, you can try this framing that I use, which is, Lauren, I am on your team and I am not allowing you to do that. So as long as I am here and I'm making decisions, which I am, I'm not allowing you to do that. Here is the plan forward.
Different way of approaching it. Coming at it more client-centric as opposed to like, I know it's best, which
it's
probably
yes,
really work
it is.
well. It worked, but it didn't work that great.
It's
I'm not, but when you tell someone I'm not allowing you to do that, you're saying, I am not going to allow you to do that.
Yes.
And then for me, I've come across where they will lie to themselves and to those around them because they'll be persuaded by the next shiny object, TikTok video, or conference that they attend, where someone has said, no, this is the end all be all. And so it's like there's a handling, like, I'm not going to allow you to distract yourself. Like, I mean, in a personal example where someone's like, I want to dive into this channel, I'm like, why would you invest a test budget when there's still so much opportunity in this current existing channel? I'm just being very hyper specific for us.
So I want to attack that.
Okay, yeah.
We have this factory that manufactures engineered quartz countertops. And I used to go to the shows where everybody from China and India and Pakistan and Malaysia and Vietnam and, wherever, Spain, Brazil, they show their slabs. These are 1,200 pound slabs at the show, right? And these slabs are beautiful, right? And then I go back to our technology people, the Ferrari, and I say, my God, I just went to the show. Like the Indians, we're Italian. We have the Italian technology. We have the 1,000 years. The Indians are making these slabs. Like you want them. It's so beautiful. You want to cry. Like, how do they have all this technology? And we're getting the second rate. He goes, Oren. Anybody can make one of anything. So what happens is at these shows, they spend a week making a one-off. That is not doable in scale. So just to give you a vision, like they might spend 2 weeks hand layering a single slab, right? 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In manufacturing, to be profitable, you have to make a 1,200 pound slab every 90 seconds. So they do it to hook you in, like, look at this beautiful thing that we make.
Smart.
Yes, but it's not doable in scale. So I think when people get that shiny object syndrome, it is the same thing as when marketing agencies come in and they go, listen, we're going to run a campaign for you, right? We guarantee you, it's $10,000, you pay us $10,000. We guarantee you that we'll make you that $10,000 back, right? Or you pay nothing, because they can skim whatever goofy thing they're doing against your list. They can skim the cream off the top and make the 10 grand back, but their campaign, and then you hire them, for 6 months, because, hey, you paid them 10 grand, they get you 10 back, but they have,
because they just took it from your email list.
They just did the creepiest copy, something unsustainable, and they made 10 grand or 100 grand or $1 million or whatever it is, right? In a one campaign that is not scalable. So I think when that is the reframe of, look, anybody can show you something once. Anybody can show you something that will work once against your list. But beyond that, that's the proverbial launch, right? $1 million launch, right? Is so great. You did $1 million in a month, but you sold, how to walk a dog and a cat, how to build a dog and cat walking business in your own neighborhood, overnight. You sold that course to everybody on earth who wants it. Right?
Your TAM has been tapped out.
Yeah, your TAM has been tapped out. Your Sam, Tam, Tom, Sam is gone, and everybody wanted that course because you spent 6 months launching that campaign.
Yeah,
everybody who wanted dog flavored toothpaste has now bought it, and there's nothing left.
Dog flavored toothpaste is like a Korean specialty or something. Like you're tasting dog. You mean toothpaste for dogs?
I wake up in the morning.
I feel like
that's
neat.
Dog burger for lunch.
I feel like you just invented a form of framing, which is like when somebody calls you on something, so like, well, it frequently happens in North Korea. It's like, it's unverifiable. Hey, Ren,
changes the frame.
When did you ever see that? It's very popular in North Korea.
I love it.
Yes.
And
well, it started first in Cuba and then really took off in Zimbabwe. But the North Korean market has latched onto this, and I think they're really moving.
They're really
into taking this global.
Moving a lot of product. Before we go, we've only got limited time left. I've got to ask you about when and how do you insert hot and cold cognitions?
Sure.
Back to pitch anything. We haven't really touched on this all that much. Like the norepinephrine versus the dopamine. Like, when do you do it? How do you kind of, like, that was one of the questions. This is a very self-serving question, by the way, because it was like, when do you actually do it? Do you do one before the other? What are your thoughts on it? I don't think we hit on it in the first episode.
Yeah, I think this is very important. So I think people intuitively do this backwards, right? When people ask them for data, they get into selling mode because they feel defensive, right?
Yes.
And when people ask, and people want to know like, what's
Analysts are
going
up
on,
there. They're asking technical questions. You respond. You're like, oh, well, I got that. Yeah.
I want to make sure when you give your cold cognition, your cold data, it comes without color, narrative, and exposition. And even I have to work on this. So we're going to get when to do cold and hot cognition. But when you eventually come around to saying what it costs, how long it is, what the contract is, what the terms are, what you get, how much is up front, how much is paid along the way, and what the, cancel terms are, it can't come with color and exposition. When you give people their cold data, they want it cold. They want all the data delivered at once, it bookended without explanation. When you start explaining the data, then people get very skeptical about the information that you gave. They want it cold. So the hot cognition, the reason deals don't happen is because desire hasn't been built. And so what happens is, and Lauren, we talked about this at the beginning, people move into the data before there is desire. Until somebody wants what you have. And this is where we talk a little bit about the box. So the way that I think about it is you have a box with your cold data in it. And what the buyer wants is for you to open that box so they can see the goodies inside of it. You keep the lid on that box.
All kinds of questions. Yeah.
All kinds of questions. Look, I have, and this is where intrigue comes from. I have what you want. I have the data. I have the pricing, right? Suspend disbelief. You want to know what it costs? It costs what you think it costs. We're a real firm, okay? Like you walked into Home Depot, you said, I don't want a Samsung fridge. I want, glass front. You know how much a Samsung fridge costs. You want the, not the Viking, but the, what's the super
$15,000 one?
Yes. So guess what the $15,000 fridge costs? Go ahead, Lauren, guess. Yes, correct.
$15,000?
Right.
It's like, what time's the 3:00 parade? Worst question at Disney ever. Okay, so how much is the $15,000? You establish the cold stuff. You're like, you don't get if I have around it.
I have the information you want, like when we can start, when the kickoff date is, what it costs. But it costs what you think it costs. The kickoff, like all that stuff. When I show you the value proposition, right? You're gonna go, yeah, that's what I thought, because we're an American firm in your market, serving customers like you, solving problems that you need. So let's suspend disbelief for a minute. It costs what you think it costs. You're going to be able to negotiate a little bit. I'm going to roll over because look at me. I want the account. Say the quiet part out loud. This is a new account. My job is to bring in accounts. I have a quota. Yes, you're going to be able to leverage me a little bit. No, I'm not going to roll over on 10% discount. Yes, we're going to all that is going to happen. But what do you want? Okay. What do you want to have happen? Do you want somebody to come in? You have budget, right? You have budget set aside. You want somebody to come in and take this over, make it happen for you, right? Hands off. Or are you really a do-it-yourselfer and you go, if I can get the full service one at the do-it-yourself price, I would take it. What do you want? Right? What are you excited about happening? You know me. We've gone through the basic pitch, right? What is your vision for what we do for you? Where are you in the process? What do you want to make happen? Okay, great. So we got to get some sense of intent, some sense of desire. And then if somebody is holding their cards close to the vest, which people do, and they'll say, look, my job is to collect the information. It's very good that you provide this product. I'd like to get an RFP on it and, show it to my team. Then that's where you are. And then you have to appropriately put that in your RFP winning cycle. So this is a 30%. What you're trying to do is you're trying to take a 30% account. And I want to make sure I answer your question, Ralph. You're trying to take a 30% account and turn it into an 80% account. But if they say, honestly, we are a 30% account, in terms of viability of closing. We're looking at multiple vendors. I will not give you emotive content on this call. I'm not going to say I'm leaning in. I'm not at a stage where I can say, look, this stuff really looks good. I'm going to push this to my team. And they're just being cold and saying, submit an RFP. Then you can test that, right? And say, hey, I will give you, round numbers, and we'll give you, frames. We'll give you frames, inside an RFP. You can work with the team. But if you are really looking for a do-it-yourself, low-cost solution, that's probably not us. But there's no sense in you giving away your power. The only power you have is your features, your benefits, your value proposition, and your pricing. So once you have disclosed that, then they're going, great, I'm now going to go see if they make this in China.
Yeah.
So we have to withhold it.
But they can't once, maybe once.
So you have to establish desire. You may not be able to get it on that call. And so what does desire come from? What are the components of desire? That is the hot cognition. Dude, Lauren, you have high energy. I like you. Like if you were working on my account, I don't know if we can afford it, but if you were working on my account, this would be amazing. You're like the best rep we have. Number two is, we have to go through a process, but when I look at your reviews, when I look at the things you're capable of, like it is a one-to-one match for what we need. Like this, I don't know if we can get pricing. I don't know if I can fight the other people on my team who want, keep the account we have. But man, this is really exciting to me, right? And if you'll lean in, I'll lean in. And until there's some version of that in place, you're giving away all your power by just walking them through, the features, benefits, value proposition, and price.
So really withhold it when it's asked. I mean, or you
don't sleep with someone on the first date. You're doing the same thing with the RFPs.
Run me through some tough questions that you would get on the other side, Ralph, and we can wrap on that. And I'll see if I can get them framed out for you.
One of the big things is like, all right, what are you going to do in my, what's the strategy in my Google account or my Meta account? What are you guys going to do in there? Like that, those are technical questions. Oh, well, the answer would be, we would do this strategy, this strategy, this strategy, this strategy, as opposed to the answer should be.
Whatever strategy we do, you have to believe in it. What I can't do is execute a strategy on one day and be second guessing it on day two, and then be adjusting the strategy on day. Strategy by definition is something we're going to do for 90 days. And I really don't think you and I are at a point where you go, Ralph, let's do the 90-day plan. All right. So no matter what strategy I tell you right now, right, you're going to go, I love the strategy. The day after I spend, 40 hours and we start to execute it, you're going to be second guessing it. So I want to get to a point where you are such a strong believer in what we do and how we do it, then I can roll out the strategy and you go, yes, that is what we're doing. Does me no good to put 40 hours and 40 hours and 40 hours and 40 hours into rolling strategies because you are coming behind and trying to manipulate it. So let's get to a point where we either believe in each other or we don't. Once we believe in each other, let's get into the strategy that we agree on and then go do. It's strategy. Tactics, I'll do free for you today. Let's log in the account. I'll give you, let's go do tactics. No relationship.
So it's going higher level than I think most people just get sucked into those cold cognitions and just immediately
cold. Hot cognition is what are we doing together? Or do we trust each other? Do we believe in each other?
The bigger picture.
Ted Lasso. Go watch a season of Ted Lasso and then come back and say, I believe, and then we can start together.
He knew nothing about tactics. Was very successful. This has been tactical and strategic and high level all in one.
Or tactical.
But tactical still. And we actually got some of the questions that we really wanted to get answered.
If you replay this, if you listened and you replay this and you put in your AI and say, get rid of Lauren's jokes. Sorry. Get rid of Oren's jokes. So sometimes I get us confused. Get rid of Oren's jokes. Break this down into actual tactics I can go do today. You will get a workbook of stuff that will double your income this quarter. All right. This stuff is real. The reason we have fun with it is it's easy when you are able to do it. Okay. So our job here is not to give you a master class. Our job here is to have some fun and reveal to you guys, that there's things you can do, but the things you can actually do are, this is Dan Brown's The Secret of Secrets. We just did it.
That's right. Well, we're going to do
The
that
secret of secrets.
over at Perpetual Traffic. Just take the whole transcript and then just boil it down and say, what exactly did Oren say? And just bullet by bullet. Biggest thing I got from it is actually say the thing like the 800-pound gorilla. Like, what is that thing that's in the room? And it's like, and do it in such a way so that you don't come across as an arrogant prick, which I've done, but it's it never really seems right. So like, that's been great. And I think it's counterintuitive to a lot of salespeople, a lot of client success people, like anybody who's dealing with clients or customers on a regular basis, like all of this stuff applies. And we didn't once ask you why you wrote the book. So we actually got like into the actual book because we've read most of the books.
Excellent. Right.
So this has been amazing having you on twice in a month. I don't even want to ask for a third time, but we'll figure that out on email. Where can people
show up?
I don't.
Lauren showed up at your office, by the way, and you weren't there.
Yeah,
I don't know. You were
actually,
doing. You were
even know if I
flying to Italy, something. I don't know what you were doing.
This was just on my calendar. I don't think I even accepted it. I'm like, oh shit, I saw it. I'm like, did I even agree to that?
That's my framing the position. I just show up.
Yeah,
I was going to be like, hey, I'm here at your house. We have a date right now in 5
She's on
minutes.
the doorstep.
Let's go.
It's like ding dong. Hello.
All right.
Anyway,
on stage. I'm going to go. We're wrapped, and I'm excited to see this episode come out.
Yeah, absolutely. Where can people connect with you? Where's the best place to connect with you?
Please just go to Oren. Well, even easier, pitchanything.com. Put your name in, and away we go.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming back on Perpetual Traffic.
Thanks, Ralph. Thanks, Lauren.
On behalf of my amazing co-host, Lauren Ipatrulu, who has to run on stage right now, and I have to run to another meeting.
Run. Ciao.
Away we go. Ciao.
Till next show. See ya.